Hey Sea Dragons, welcome back to Art. I hope you had a great break this last week. I'm Mr. Horner and I have some art that I'm really excited to show you. Let's check it out and then we'll get to drawing. This week we're learning about Tree of Life art. The Tree of Life is something that we see in art and it's talked about in cultures and religions all around the world for thousands of years. The Tree of Life usually has branches like we see here coming up. It has leaves, flowers, birds, and animals, just like this one does. This is on a mosque in Iran, and it's made of paint on tiles. I wanted to start off with this one because it's super colorful, and they filled every little piece of every tile with flowers and leaves to show this bright energy of life. The trees in Islamic art and Christian art and Jewish art usually represent the Garden of Eden or the paradise in the afterlife. We're going further back in time here. This one is about 3,000 years old and comes from China. This is a sculpture made of bronze metal. That's that green metal that you see there. And on top there's a big phoenix, which is a firebird. On the bottom, that white part is a dragon that holds up this tree of life. In those branches, there's coins and people and birds and animals all in there living together, this tree representing the world here. The dragon and the phoenix are really important symbols in Chinese culture even to this day, and they represent good things in life, like the phoenix representing honesty and being generous, the dragon representing the power of nature and strength. The tree is also an important symbol in Buddhist art because Buddha was given his enlightenment while sitting under a tree. He sat there for 49 days, and then his message came to him about how he wanted to teach people how to live life. So this tree is where he received that message as he sat under it. This is a carving from about 2,000 years ago on a temple in India. Now we're going back across the world. This idea of Yggdrasil, this giant holy tree with the earth at the bottom and the heavens in the top of the tree. This comes from Viking culture from a few thousand years ago. This goes back a long way. This drawing is not that old, but is representing that idea. So the gods lived in the top of the tree up there in heaven, and the people lived down at the bottom. And then there's this rainbow bridge here that connects earth and heaven. This one is one of my favorites. I actually got to see this painting. I went to Austria on my honeymoon after I got married, and this painting is huge. It's like 20 feet long and 6 feet tall. And there's all this gold paint here making the tree feel really special. There's these spiral patterns making us think of waves or wind, this kind of movement of the tree here. There's these strange eyes in the leaves on the tree and these strange patterns on the clothes, making it feel very dreamlike. It's just a really exciting painting. Even today, the Tree of Life is an important cultural symbol in parts of the world right now. This is by Oscar Soteño. He lives in Mexico, and he is known for his special Tree of Life art. He's a master of this art form. This is made of clay, and it's just full of little references to Mexican culture. There's this Day of the Dead skull in here. There's flowers. There's even, I think this is a Tree of Life on the Tree of Life here, showing the importance of the Tree of Life in Mexican culture here. This is on another mosque. This time the mosque is in India, and this one is even older than the one we saw before. This is from 1572. It's about 400 or 500 years old. And it's just so beautiful how the tree curls and overlaps on the other branches, and we see these little flowers and leaves tucked into little spaces there. It's just so nicely designed how everything is close together, so tight, and Just a really beautiful design with the whole archway over the door here. This is the last one I'll show. This is a carpet. This is made in Iran about 100 years ago. And for thousands of years in Iran and Syria and Turkey, these rugs have been woven, often representing the tree of life. Sometimes other things are woven onto their different patterns. But this one, what I really like about this, and this got me interested in tree of life art, is the colors are very, very symbolic here. So the red represents love, the blue represents paradise, the green represents life, and white represents peace. So I just love how those colors are woven through the whole carpet here, in the background, in the animals, on the tree. So all of these important parts of life are woven together on this. I think it's just a beautiful symbol. I hope you enjoyed seeing all of those different trees of life from around the world through history. There's so many more that I didn't get to show in many more cultures around the world, but I hope that you enjoyed these ones that I picked, and we're going to start looking at making our own tree of life now. Think about which ones were your favorite, and we're going to borrow some ideas and make our own tree of life now. I have my sketchbook, my favorite pencil, and my eraser here ready to go. I always draw on paper because I have way more practice doing that. I don't like drawing on the computer. I don't think it turns out good, so I do what I'm most comfortable with, and I draw on paper. So if that's what you're more comfortable with, that would be great if you do that. I'd say that almost all of my students are better at drawing on paper than on the computer, so I'd really like to see you draw on paper and take a picture of that to send on Seesaw. You might be thinking, how the heck am I going to start a tree of life drawing? There's so much going on there. Well, I'll tell you one easy way to start. Let's just start with some ground. You could make a line across the middle if you're going to have the top of the tree and the roots. Or I think I'm just going to do the top of the tree. So I'm going to make my ground here down low, and then I'll have the trunk of the tree coming up here, and then the top of the tree. So just start with a line for the ground, figure out where you want that. Now I'm going to start doing the trunk, and most of mine is going to be the same thing happens on each side of the picture. Every time it's going to do the same thing because I like when it looks balanced and symmetrical, meaning it's the same on both sides. So I think I'll start with right in the middle, make a little line for my trunk, maybe make that a little bit wider. Figure out where I want this to come into the ground, add some pretty curves to it. Coming down here. So I'm drawing pretty rough, but I have my eraser so I can fix it whenever I want. I'll probably fix it later after I figure out where I want things. Making my roots here, I think I'll have some more roots right in there. There's my roots. I think I want these to be different sizes. Now I'm at a part where I should start branching off and filling the whole paper with branches. So I'm just going to start, like I said, doing the same thing on each side of my drawing. So whatever I do on one side, I'll just try to copy it to the other. That makes it easy to not have to come up with new stuff every time too. Just like that. And it'll kind of make a whole pattern throughout the paper if I keep doing that. So branches are thick at the bottom, close to the trunk, and then they get thinner going out this way. Goes to kind of a point at the end. Like that. They also have a couple more shapes we can add on, like if you make an F, like a letter F, That can be a branch like that. And letter V at the end. One more letter that can help you make good branches is the letter Y. It's going to be kind of upside down here, but like a capital Y, like that. Okay, I'm going to go up and start making some more branches and filling up this space. Okay, I've put my tree together here with branches using the F's and Y's and V's, adding on smaller branches to those. And remember, you can do your branches any way that you know how or that you like to do. If you liked the look of those spiral branches that we saw that go like this, you might do spirally branches. You might make your own way of doing branches. It's really not too hard. You just need to have pieces that connect and then pieces that come off of it. Not too hard. There's lots of ways to do those branches. Okay, next I need to do some leaves and then be thinking about animals for this. Maybe favorite animals or pets that you've had. I think I'm going to put some pets and favorite animals in mine. Okay, I'm going to work on these leaves and we'll talk about this some more in a little bit. Alright, I have my leaves on there, and it's really not looking too bad now. I thought it looked a little weird without the leaves, but it's looking better now. And I'm going to start adding some animals in here. I've had a lot of different pets in my life. I had frogs when I was a kid. I had chickens, dog, cats. I might put some of those animals in here and also think about animals that I've enjoyed seeing. Like the birds outside my window have been pretty cool to see while I'm teaching right now at home. And any other animals that you can think of, you can add in there. Remember, this is not for you to copy. This is my tree of life, and I'm just seeing where this goes and working off of what I see here. So you make your branches and then you see what you want to add in there to make it exciting for you. What's going to be fun for you to draw? Okay, I'm going to work on these animals and then I'll see you in a little bit. Now I just need to color this. I've added some flowers around here, some butterflies, some bees, and lots of animals in here. And I'm going to go ahead and color everything and mix some colors together to make special colors. I'm starting with the background first, all these empty spaces in between. That way when I do the tree and the animals, all the edges will be a bit cleaner. I can clean up the messy scribble of the background after. Here's my artwork all colored in and outlined. I'd like to know when you send me your artwork, did you get any ideas from the artworks that I showed you? All of those trees of life from around the world. What ideas did you get and how did you use them in your artwork? Another question I have for you is how did you choose your animals? What animals are special to you? So I'm going to tell you about mine really quick. One idea I got is for the colors. I used the green for life, red for love, white for peace, and blue for paradise, like I told you about in the Tree of Life rug, those special symbolic colors. And then the animals are some of my pets that I had growing up, also animals that I just like to see, like the little round bird up here, the blue butterfly down here, and um, some animals that I don't like to see too, because things that you don't like are also part of life. So that's why there's a rat on the tree and also some ants, things I don't like, but there they are. So I can't wait to see your artworks. I know this is a challenge, but I know you can do this because you've sent me so many amazing artworks and you've had a lot of practice this year. You're going to do great. Don't give up, and most of all, have fun. See you later.